In Kalta village, the popular Curio drugstore is run by pharmacist Reiji Curio, who creates various medicines with the help of werewolf girl Noela, the store's mascot, and ghost girl Mina Fleuret, the shop assistant and housekeeper. One day, Mr. Alf, the owner of a struggling general store, arrives at Curio drugstore. He tastes Reiji's freshly created potion that cures exhaustion and is delicious, compared to most potions which are foul and less effective. Impressed, Alf asks Reiji if he could sell the potion at his store, hoping it might help his business recover. Alf reveals that he's facing financial difficulties and may need to close the store, which is troubling as he and his wife are expecting their 5th child. Surprisingly, Reiji agrees to supply Alf with bottles of the potion at a reasonable price. After Alf leaves, Mina praises Reiji for helping him, and Noela enthusiastically chimes in, admitting she can't stop drinking the potion herself due to its delicious taste. Over the next few days, the potion becomes popular throughout Kalta, and Mr. Alf's general store is soon bustling with customers. People also flock to Reiji's pharmacy, forming lines to buy the potion directly from him. One day, a mother and her young daughter come to the pharmacy to purchase the potion, but the little girl grows tired and starts crying from the wait. To cheer her up, Noela playfully tickles her with her tail. Daughter plays with Neola. Reiji takes the mother's order and gives her the potions. After the mother and daughter exit the store, Reiji thanks Neola for her assistance. That evening, Mina asks Reiji to pick up some groceries, so he and Noela head out together. Before going to the market, they decide to explore a nearby forest to gather medicinal herbs. As Reiji watches Noela happily collecting herbs, he remembers how he first found her as an injured wolf and nursed her back to health. Reiji then notices he has the wrong shopping list. Mina must have given him the wrong note. At that moment, they see a boy named Zero running frantically, being chased by his angry girlfriend, Ferris, who is holding a knife. Reiji tries to avoid the commotion, but Zero grabs onto his jacket, begging for help. When Ferris catches up, she threatens Zero, but her mood shifts as she's charmed by Noela, who calms her down with her playful energy. Zero explains to Reiji that Ferris is possessive and has trouble sleeping whenever she fears other girls are around him, which leads to jealousy and angry outbursts. Despite her behavior, Zero loves her, as she is usually sweet and caring. He believes she might be under the influence of a curse or some form of evil and asks Reiji for a remedy to help her. While Ferris is busy playing with Noela, Reiji and Zero observe her from a distance while hiding nearby. After a while, Reiji heads to the pharmacy with Noela, inviting Zero to pick it up later. At the pharmacy, Reiji prepares a tea using landanflower, a medicinal herb known to reduce anxiety and aid sleep, since sleep deprivation causes mood swings. That evening, Zero arrives to collect the landanflower tea. The next morning, Zero returns with good news. Ferris seems calm and well-rested after drinking the tea. She even visits the pharmacy herself, appearing peaceful and expressing gratitude to Reiji. Zero, revealing himself to be a wealthy noble, pays Reiji generously for his help. Later, Reiji and Noela go back to the forest to gather more herbs. They come across the Utsubo flower, a plant with a pungent odor that only animals can detect. Though Reiji can't smell it, Noela finds the scent unbearable, irritating her eyes. Reiji quickly makes a botanical deodorant, spraying it on the flower to neutralize the smell, which relieves Noela. When they return to the pharmacy, Mina suggests that Reiji sell the deodorant, and when they do, it quickly becomes popular among customers as a bathroom deodorant. Reiji and Noela head to Rabbit Tavern to pick up their food order, giving Mina a much-needed break from her usual household tasks. At the tavern, they run into Dozen, Maz, and Captain Annabelle of the Red Cat Brigade, a group of mercenaries hired by the local lord to guard Kalta village. Maz and Dozen kneel and beg Reiji to supply their captain with 5 energy potions daily, hoping for a discount since they're struggling financially. Captain Annabelle depends heavily on the potions due to her demanding work, and they request a steep price cut. Surprisingly, Reiji agrees to provide the potions for free, on the condition that the brigade helps promote his new detergent to the townspeople. When Annabelle and Rena, the tavern owner's daughter, try out the detergent, they're amazed by its effectiveness, and the Red Cat Brigade gladly agrees to spread the word. The next morning, as Noela prepares for the usual delivery, Annabelle shows up at the drugstore herself, eager for her daily dose of potions. She promises Reiji she'll return each morning to pick up the potions in person. Later, Reiji and Noela go foraging for herbs but find that their usual supply is dwindling. Observing seeds scattered on the ground, Reiji gets an idea. They approach Cyril and ask to lease one of his fields for growing medicinal herbs. Grateful for Regi's past help with Ferris, Cyril generously offers the field for free. However, he warns that wild animals like dogs and wolves have been getting past the fences, damaging the crops despite the fertile soil. Reiji has a plan to solve this. He returns to his pharmacy and creates a special animal repellent spray using Utsubo flowers. The spray produces an odor undetectable to humans but offensive to animals, keeping them away from the crops. Within days, the repellent proves highly effective, and soon, local farmers flock to buy it from the pharmacy. However, the lingering smell bothers Noila, who avoids Reiji unless he's freshly bathed due to her heightened sense of smell. One morning, Annabelle arrives as usual but requests extra potions this time, paying for the additional bottles. Shortly afterward, Dozen and Maz rush into the pharmacy, seeking Reiji's help. Annabelle explains that a band of bandits has arrived in Kalta village, injuring several townsfolk and forcing her to give up her own potions to help speed up their recovery. Determined to help, Reiji devises a new product, a pepper spray using alcohol and caption peppers. This powerful concoction, when sprayed, causes intense irritation to the eyes and nose, effectively deterring the bandits. Thanks to the brigade's efforts and Reiji's invention, the bandits are soon driven out of the village for good. Meanwhile, word of Reiji's energy potions reaches the ears of someone powerful, the Demon Lord. One day, Rain, a butler in the service of the Lord of Kalta village, arrives at Reiji's pharmacy searching for Reiji. He has been carrying an invitation from Lady Flam, the Lord's wife. Curious, Reiji accepts and visits the manor, where he meets Lady Flam, who confides her insecurities about her appearance. Requests Reiji to make her a rejuvenating potion within 5 days. The lady is discouraged because she's concerned about the rumors and can no longer stand her husband's noble friends gossiping about how old she looks behind her back. Moved by her situation, Reiji agrees and, after 4 days of hard work, creates a moisturizing face cream made from a blend of fruits and flowers. This cream locks in moisture and gives skin a supple glow. On the 5th day, Reiji delivers it, and Lady Flam is delighted to see her skin looking healthier and more youthful, silencing the gossipers. Out of gratitude, she sends Reiji a box of expensive cookies along with his fee. Mina, however, misinterprets the gift, suspecting that Reiji and Lady Flam might have a secret relationship. The next day, Lady Flam's daughter, Elaine, visits the pharmacy and requests a love potion to win over Lord Lards, her crush. Reiji explains that love potions only have temporary effects, so he instead offers something else to make her more appealing. With Elaine's approval, Reiji creates a charm fragrance, a perfume crafted from flowers to subtly enhance her appeal. Reiji also advises Elaine that confidence, grace, and a kind demeanor would do more to attract genuine interest than any potion. Pleased with the fragrance and advice, Elaine departs but returns after a few days, realizing she prefers a man who values her genuine self over superficial charm. Inspired by Reiji's straightforward nature, Elaine develops a crush on him. With her parents' permission, she decides to spend 2 days working at the pharmacy to learn from him. She understands, however, that as a noblewoman and Reiji being a commoner, a relationship would be challenging. Over her stay, Elaine forms a close bond with Noila, despite their differences and Elaine's initial superiority complex. Before leaving, Elaine gifts Noila a custom perfume she crafted with Reiji's help, and in return, Noila gives her a substitute for her fluffy tail as a keepsake of their time together. Several days later, with the temperature rising, Reiji, Mina, and Noila struggle with the intense heat. Elaine arrives again, this time with a request from her father, Lord Valgas, who has heard of Reiji's skills and asks if he can make a potion to bring winter's coolness to Kalta. Annoyed by the assumption that he uses magic instead of medicine, Reiji gets creative and produces Sweetheart Cooling Gel, a skin application that evaporates quickly to cool the body. Excited, the girls use a bit too much and end up shivering, even in the hot weather, quickly learning to apply it in moderation. While gathering herbs in the forest, Reiji and Noila encounter a minor incident when Noila is attacked by a squirrel. The squirrel falls unconscious almost immediately, prompting Reiji to administer some anti-poison medication and leave the squirrel to rest. As they head home, the squirrel wakes up and watches them depart. The next morning, the same squirrel appears at Reiji's pharmacy, bearing gifts of rare Rokishu nuts in gratitude for saving its life. Later, Reiji and Noila go to the market to buy groceries and pick up their lunch from the Rabbit Tavern. When they arrive, they witness Rina, the waitress, and her father in a heated exchange with Fernando, a noble who owns a nearby restaurant renowned for its gourmet meat dishes. Fernando wants to buy the tavern, however Rina and her father become enraged and refuse the offer. It turns out that Fernando, aiming to create a monopoly, pressures Rina's family to sell the tavern. After Fernando leaves, Rina expresses her worries about the future of their restaurant. To lift her spirits, Noela offers Rina some of the rokushu nuts. Rina's father immediately recognizes them as a premium ingredient, rare and difficult to cook with, yet capable of making a divine sauce once crafted by a royal chef. Sadly, the chef passed away after overindulging in his own creation due to its irresistible taste. Inspired to save the Rabbit Tavern, Reiji decides to recreate the legendary rokushu sauce. After exhausting their supply of nuts, Reiji and Noela return to the forest to seek out the squirrel. Though they don't find it in the woods, it later appears at the pharmacy's doorstep, bringing more nuts. Grateful for the squirrel's help, Reiji immediately begins experimenting with the rokushu sauce recipe, using his chemistry knowledge to replicate its complex flavors. The resulting sauce has a refreshing acidity and a refined aroma, which elevates every dish it's added to. When the Rabbit Tavern starts serving dishes with rokushu sauce, it draws in large crowds, with patrons lining up to taste it. Even Fernando is drawn by the sauce's aroma and, after waiting in line, is captivated by its extraordinary flavor, and additionally it's very cheap. Fernando is furious the sauce is being served in a common tavern. Unable to resist, Fernando attempts to buy the entire supply of sauce, offering an increasingly high price, but Reiji firmly refuses, declaring that he isn't motivated by greed. Frustrated, Fernando leaves, while Reiji and Noela take pride in helping the tavern thrive. Days later, Ferris arrives at Reiji's shop and explains she wants a baby with Zero, but recently they have been having less sex. Ferris believes that Zero doesn't show much interest in her and spends too much time outside, so she wants an aphrodisiac to increase Zero's desire. After speaking with Zero and discovering his intentions to marry Ferris, Reiji concludes that a mild aphrodisiac will be harmless. He prepares a potion called Emotional Drive. However, in an unfortunate mishap, Mina accidentally drinks the potion, leading to an emotional outburst as she aggressively pursues Reiji's attention. Things take a chaotic turn when Annabelle arrives at the pharmacy, and Noela, in a well-meaning gesture, offers her a sip of Emotional Drive as well. Both Mina and Annabelle become intensely fixated on Reiji, each one vying for his affection with unabashed enthusiasm. Desperate, Reiji asks Noela for the antidote, but she accidentally drops the bottles, causing them to shatter. The next morning, Mina, feeling guilty about her behavior, is relieved to hear that Reiji is able to give them both an antidote before anything drastic happens. Meanwhile, Zero arrives at the pharmacy, and Reiji hands him the potion. A few days later, Reiji leaves the Rabbit Tavern and sees Zero and Ferris walking hand in hand, clearly more in love than ever. Reiji smiles, gratified to see his efforts bring happiness to his customers. Mina shares with Reiji about the Katla hunting competition, a renowned event that attracts hunters from across the country. The competition has only had one victor every year, Kururu, a skilled elf. Their conversation is interrupted by Ririka, Kururu's younger sister, who has come to ask for Reiji's help. Ririka wants to impress her brother, as she'll be also competing this year, but she struggles with archery and demands a potion to guarantee her win. Reiji refuses, explaining he can't make a potion that grants instant success. However, he offers to help enhance her archery skills. Noticing Ririka's hands are injured from her relentless practice, Reiji provides her with a soothing potion for relief. During a practice session, Reiji observes that Ririka only hits targets at close range. He suggests she switch to a short bow for improved accuracy. He also creates a medicinal lure to attract animals, giving Ririka a unique advantage. On the day of the Katla hunting competition, Ririka follows Reiji's advice. She uses the potion in the middle of the forest, quickly attracting a swarm of animals. Thanks to her short bow and the potion, Ririka successfully hits target after target. By the end of the competition, she surpasses Kururu's record with an impressive 86 catches, beating her brother's count of 19. However, when it's time for the award ceremony, Ririka leaves abruptly, her mind only on Reiji. Rushing to his pharmacy, Ririka becomes jealous upon seeing Noela and Mina playfully interacting with Reiji. She realizes she has fallen in love with him. Later, Kururu visits Reiji's shop to thank him personally for helping Ririka achieve her goal. After Kururu leaves, Reiji notices that Mina seems down. Mina opens up, explaining she's unable to step outside and always reappears on the living room sofa if she tries. Curious, Reiji thinks something has to be linked with Mina under the sofa. Reiji investigates and discovers a hidden cellar beneath the sofa. Enlisting the help of a carpenter with his energy-boosting potion, Reiji uncovers a brooch embedded with a green garnet that belonged to Mina's mother. Reiji deduces that the brooch binds Mina to its location, causing her to teleport back if she strays too far. Realizing that Mina is connected to the brooch and not the shop itself, Reiji suggests she keep it with her. With the brooch in her pocket, Mina can finally step outside. She sheds tears of joy, thrilled to explore the world freely, and goes shopping with Reiji and Noela. One day, Noela ends up with a stomach ache after eating nuts off the floor. Mina wonders if she's developed the habit due to the squirrel's frequent gifts of nuts. Concerned, Reiji brews a potion that makes food taste bitter to deter Noela from eating off the floor. The concoction works, and Reiji later sells it to local shop owners to help keep animals from rummaging through their bins. One evening, Noela decides to help Mina prepare dinner but ends up breaking their last kitchen knife, prompting Mina to yell at her. Noela suggests that they use a spare knife, for it turns out that the knife she broke was the last one in their stock. Frustrated, Mina suggests they buy a replacement. Reiji and Noela head to a nearby tool shop, only to find it in complete disarray. The shopkeeper, Paula, is exhausted from pulling all-nighters repairing items and has hundreds of items to repair. Latest project is Annabelle's broken gauntlets. She vents her frustration to Reiji about the difficulties of patching up damaged iron and leather, wishing for a way to stick broken things together with ease. Reiji, inspired by her predicament, grabs his knife and rushes back home, and invents stuck-in-place superglue, a strong adhesive for quick, lasting repairs. He hurries back to the shop, only to find her sleeping on the floor with all the exhaustion. He uses the glue on Annabelle's gauntlets, which instantly fixes them. Paula is overjoyed, but while celebrating, Noela accidentally gets glue on her hands and clings to Reiji, causing the two to get stuck together. They return home, much to Mina's surprise and amusement. After explaining to her about the incident, Mina worries that they have to shower or sleep together. With a quick thinking remedy, Reiji invents Stuck No More releasing agent, which dissolves the glue and frees them. The following day, Paula visits to thank Reiji. Finally, her workload is manageable, and she even pays him an extra fee in gratitude. However, a few days later, she returns, complaining that adventurers barely shop at her store. Reiji points out her shop's poor lighting, which makes her quality weapons appear dull and uninviting. Together, they clean and brighten up the space and give it more lighting so that it can look bright and attractive. While cleaning, Reiji notices Paula has weapons and armor that are old and scratched. Reiji has another idea and creates Glossy Shine Polish, which polishes small scratches, and Paula soon has all her tools gleaming and shiny. Though a week later she returns, disappointed that adventurers rarely visit the village, limiting her business. Meanwhile, the demon king Egil, ruler of the underworld, becomes increasingly obsessed with Reiji's energy potions. When one of his servants fails to bring him enough, Egil imprisons him in a fit of withdrawal-fueled anger. Determined to secure his own supply, Egil decides to visit Reiji's store in person. One day, Demon King Egil teleports into Reiji's store, demanding an energy potion. Reiji, undeterred by the king's reputation, insists on payment. Outraged, Egil explains that he has no human currency, but his anger softens when he catches sight of Noela. Smitten, Egil introduces himself and proposes to Noela on the spot, offering her a life as his queen. However, Noela refuses, stating she prefers her master Reiji. Egil, desperate, offers Reiji half the world once he conquers it in exchange for Noela and one energy potion, but Reiji still declines. Determined, Egil returns 3 days later with a bag of coins he collected by frightening villagers, claiming himself the Demon King, but it turns out that villagers, thinking he was a homeless child in costume, handed over their spare change. Feeling pity for the Demon King's plight, Reiji relents and gives Egil one potion. Egil eagerly offers it to Noela, who only dismisses him again, explaining she already gets one every day from Reiji. Frustrated and humiliated, Egil rethinks his approach and demands Reiji make him his apprentice. Although hesitant, Reiji finally agrees to let Egil work as a weekend shop assistant. On his first day, Egil does his best to impress Noela. During a tea break, Egil boldly requests a potion that will reveal Noela's true feelings for him. Knowing Noela's indifference, Reiji warns Egil to brace himself and not react poorly if the outcome is disappointing. Egil agrees and is sent to gather the ingredients. Reiji then brews Give It To Me Straight, a potion that allows the drinker's thoughts to be heard. Reiji then gives the potion to Neola. First, Reiji asks Neola what she thinks of him, and she replies that she loves him dearly. Satisfied that the potion works, Egil asks Neola the same question. To his dismay, she simply tells him she feels nothing special toward him. Though heartbroken, Egil is determined not to give up and tries to charm her again, only to be shown the door by Neola. Meanwhile, Mina accidentally drinks some of the potion, revealing her inner thoughts, which are darker and more sarcastic than her usual manner. Reiji, Neola, and Egil are taken aback by her blunt comments. Determined to cheer her up, they try their best to follow her inner thoughts' demands until, fortunately, the potion wears off. The group shares a relieved, joyful meal, with Reiji privately vowing never to sell Give It To Me Straight, fearing it would cause an epidemic of broken relationships if used by married couples. One day, Lord Valgas knocks on Elaine's room, holding a piece of her clothing found in the laundry. To Elaine's horror, it turns out to be one of her undergarments. Embarrassed and bewildered by her father's lack of tact, Elaine feels even more distance from him. Meanwhile, Lord Valgas's butler visits Reiji at his pharmacy, relaying that Lord Valgas wants to discuss a pressing matter. At the manor, Reiji listens to Valgas's concerns. He's convinced that Elaine is avoiding him and initially blames Reiji, accusing him of using psychological powers to turn her against her own father. However, Reiji suspects that Elaine's reaction is due to her coming of age, as her father may have unintentionally overstepped boundaries by treating her as a child. Just then, Elaine enters and firmly asks Reiji to speak with her in another room, calling her father dirty. Elaine seems confused about why her father's behavior irritates her so much. Understanding the situation, Reiji decides to help smooth things over between them. Back at his drugstore, he customizes his botanical deodorant into a gentle, odorless body soap for Lord Valgas, hoping it will subtly help him feel fresh without overwhelming Elaine. The next day, Lord Valgas uses the soap, shaves his mustache, and tries again to talk to his daughter. He realizes that she's growing up and may harbor a crush on Reiji, explaining her coldness toward her father, who treats her like a child. Valgas tells Elaine he's only ever wanted to protect and cherish her. Touched, Elaine forgives him and they share a heartfelt hug. Later, Valgas thanks Reiji for helping, though he warns Reiji he'll never let Elaine marry him. Meanwhile, Mina falls ill, and Reiji lovingly tends to her, feeding her warm soup. She opens up, revealing she often fell sick in life but never got the chance to thank her mother for all her care. Meanwhile, Egil attends to customers in the store. Reiji sends him to collect some magical ingredients in exchange for petting Neola's fluffy tail. Egil immediately grabs the ingredients list and excitedly heads outside. Reiji and Neola go to the cellar under Mina's room, where they discover Mina's mother's old journal. With Egil's help collecting magical ingredients, Reiji brews a 3-minute revive potion and explains that it can summon Mina's mother for 3 minutes. As Mina uses the potion on her mother's journal, the ghost of her mother appears. Her mother resents Mina's father for leaving her alone to take care of Mina. She was also angry since Mina always got sick but soon regretted it when Mina died. She cried in vain after losing Mina and felt extremely sorry for her daughter since she never got to live a happy life. Overwhelmed with both love and sadness, Mina's mother fades away after 3 minutes. Grateful for the chance to see her mother again, Mina feels a renewed sense of peace. Reflecting on these events, Reiji remembers meeting Mina for the first time when he moved into the house. She'd introduced herself as the guardian of the home, explaining she wasn't a ghost but a caretaker of sorts. With a smile, Mina had told him that her deepest wish was for everyone who lived in the house to find happiness. Reiji, Noela, and Mina prepare for a picnic at the lake, a place where Mina has fond family memories. Just as they're about to leave, Egil excitedly insists on joining. Upon reaching the lake, everyone marvels at its beauty, though Reiji feels uneasy due to the eerie silence and warning signs of beasts nearby. Egil, confident, reassures Reiji that he'll protect everyone if any threats arise. As they settle by the lake and enjoy some snacks, Mina becomes emotional, recalling memories of her mother. Egil, thrilled to be at his first picnic, basks in the fun atmosphere. Reiji suggests fishing, and he and Egil head to the water while Mina and Noela go for a swim. Reiji uses his big catch buddy to lure fish, hooking a particularly large one. The fish is so heavy that Noela and Mina join in to help pull it up. After a great effort, they finally succeed in landing the fish, only for it to fall onto Egil. To everyone's shock, the fish transforms into a girl, who angrily scolds Reiji for fishing her up. Egil, now annoyed, demands they get rid of her, but she hides behind Reiji, introducing herself as Vivi, the lake spirit. Vivi thinks that they are pretending to be friendly so that they can belittle her later. However, when Noela gets friendly, assuring everyone will be nice to her. However, after Noela's friendly encouragement, Vivi decides to stay and soon devours several sandwiches. Mina, curious, asks why she's so hungry. Vivi explains that she can't eat the smaller fish because they're her friends and that humans used to leave offerings for her to eat. But after people stopped visiting, she's been mostly hungry. Mina recalls hearing of an old shrine where people once left offerings, hoping for their wishes to be fulfilled. However, Vivi admits she never actually granted any wishes, only enjoying the offerings they left. Over time, the humans started to think of her as a disgraceful spirit, and lost faith in her once the people stopped coming. The place was occupied by monsters. Feeling like a failure, Vivi breaks down, fearing that Reiji and his friends will mock her. Suddenly, she transforms into a ball of water due to the rising temperature, as she can't maintain her human form unless she stays cool. Reiji quickly throws her into the lake, where she returns to her spirit form. Thankful, Vivi decides to stay in the lake but asks Reiji to join her for more fishing. They catch plenty, and since it's too much for the group to eat, Reiji offers the extra fish to Vivi, assuring her she can eat them whenever she's hungry. Vivi hesitates, convinced Reiji wants something in return, as others only brought offerings to receive blessings. Reiji, however, reassures her, referring to her as a friend, and Noela, Mina, and even Egil join in, declaring their friendship. When Vivi worries about seeing them only occasionally, Reiji offers her a part-time position at his drugstore. She initially declines, as she needs to stay cool, but Reiji applies his sweetheart cooling gel to help her stay cool outside the lake. 3 days later, Vivi joins Reiji's pharmacy as an employee, and Reiji assigns an eager Egil as her trainer, hoping to impress Noela. Soon, Paula and Annabelle visit the pharmacy with a feminine problem, asking Reiji for a beauty-enhancing potion. Reiji brews them Hairyite Remover, a cream to dissolve unwanted hair and slow down its regrowth. Paula and Annabelle are thrilled, but the next morning, Reiji finds Noela distraught. She had played with the cream, and now the tip of her tail is bald. Reiji, concerned as the cream suppresses hair regrowth, quickly brews Hairyite Grower, a potion that stimulates hair growth. Thankfully, Noela's tail soon regains its fluffiness. Overjoyed, she learns her lesson about playing with new potions. Vivi, eager to grow stronger, asks Reiji for a potion to help her build strength. Annabelle, overhearing this request, takes it upon herself to train Vivi, Noela, and Mina with some rigorous soldier drills. As Reiji watches Annabelle putting the girls through grueling exercises, he feels sorry for them, especially as they're ordered to run around the town. Partway through the run, Noela drags Reiji along, insisting they run together, leaving him exhausted while she remains energized. After the run, Annabelle pushes the group through intense push-ups and sit-ups. Reiji manages to excuse himself to prepare a muscle aid, returning to his pharmacy to brew a modified version of his energy potion called the Power Potion. Designed to speed up muscle recovery, it also enhances the effectiveness of muscle building. Reiji returns to the camp with his new concoction, only for Noela to down it immediately before he can explain its effects. To everyone's shock, Noela's body instantly bulks up, her voice becoming deep and gravelly. To make things stranger, she starts imagining her biceps are talking to her. Even more surprising is Mina, now equally muscular and bewildered by the potion's effects. Reiji quickly advises Annabelle and her trainees to dilute the potion in the future, noting its powerful impact. Fortunately, the muscle high fades within an hour, and the girls' bodies return to normal. Reiji then carries an exhausted Vivi back to the pharmacy, with Noela and Mina trailing behind. The next day, Egil, discouraged by his lack of progress with Noela, confides in Reiji about his frustration. He even asks Reiji for a friendship potion, but Reiji gently explains that genuine friendship can't be brewed. Still, he promises to help. As no such potion exists, Reiji wants if he can at least help them get along as colleagues in the shop. When Reiji speaks with Noela, she admits to instinctively disliking Egil, especially because she dislikes his clinginess, and more importantly, his scent. She mentions, however, that she loves Reiji's scent, sparking an idea for him. Reiji prepares a gene fluid containing traces of his own scent profile. By consuming this daily for a week, Eagle's scent will gradually shift to resemble Reiji's. After a week of using the Gene fluid, Reiji organizes a game where a blindfolded Noela must identify him and Eagle by scent alone. Although initially confused by their similar smells, she successfully distinguishes Reiji when Eagle starts panting nervously. After the game, Reiji encourages Noela to try being friends with Eagle. Loyal to Reiji, she agrees and even shakes Eagle's hand, beginning a tentative friendship. Though they grow closer as colleagues, Noela still finds Eagle's flirtatiousness annoying. Reiji begins to feel frustrated as visitors flock to the pharmacy only around mealtimes, fully aware that Mina will feed them for free. Despite his annoyance, Reiji notices that Paula hasn't been around in a week. Concerned, he decides to check on her and heads to her tools store. There, he finds Paula buried in textbooks, anxiously preparing for her item identification license renewal exam. She explains that without passing, she'd have to shut down her shop, as the license assures customers that they're dealing with a trusted, officially recognized business. Desperate, Paula pleads with Reiji to make her a potion that will help her cram everything she needs to know before the big test. Reiji agrees and rushes back to his pharmacy, preparing a special potion called Prayer for Success, which enhances memory retention for 24 hours. That evening, Noela delivers the potion to Paula. A week later, Paula happily arrives at Reiji's store with her renewed license in hand, overjoyed to report she passed the exam. She thanks Reiji profusely and even tries to kiss him in gratitude, but a protective Noela immediately intervenes to keep her distance. As the group gathers for lunch prepared by Mina, they're soon joined by Eagle and Vivi, making it another bustling mealtime. Vivi later notices a small blemish on her skin, which prompts her to ask Reiji if he can make something to prevent skin aging from sun exposure, like wrinkles, spots, and sagging. Inspired, Reiji decides to create a potion that combines UV protection with moisturizing ingredients, transforming his existing Sweetheart Cooling Gel into a new formula. Mina, sensing the appeal for other young women, notes that this could also help cover the pharmacy's rising food expenses. After some careful adjustments, Reiji finally crafts Sun Go Away Sunscreen Gel, which offers sun protection and leaves skin supple and bouncy. Girl's skin becomes springy and bouncier, which has a severe nosebleed effect on Eagle when he sees Noela's newly moisturized skin. Word spreads quickly and every female customer Reiji has ever had buys his entire supply. Elaine sends Reiji, Mina, and Noela an invitation to her grand party, and while Reiji initially declines, uncomfortable because he rarely enjoyed gatherings with his coworkers back in Japan, Mina and Noela's excitement eventually convinces him. Just as they're getting ready, Eagle shows up, pleading to join their group, as he's also been invited. Mina and Noela quickly lead him to another room, keeping him out of their hair, and soon Dozen and Maz arrive at the drugstore needing Reiji's help. Dozen, who's invited along with Annabelle, confesses he struggles with alcohol but wants to appear capable of handling it so he can confidently escort Annabelle home after the party. Reiji understands and, after a few hours of work, creates Liver Buddy EX, a potion that temporarily prevents drunkenness and eliminates hangover symptoms. Noela delivers it to Dozen while Mina and Reiji go to the basement to retrieve their attire. Mina finds an old dress that's stained and damaged, but Reiji quickly brews dress cleaner to restore it to its former beauty. Noela returns, finding Mina dressed elegantly, and the two girls then try to check on Reiji. When they catch a glimpse of him changing into Mina's father's old suit, which he cleaned with dress cleaner, they're flustered but can't help admiring how handsome he looks once he's ready. Even Eagle is astonished and wholeheartedly compliments Reiji's refined appearance. Meanwhile, Paula spots Eagle's servant posting missing posters around town. Learning that Paula knows where Eagle is, the servant follows her to Reiji's drugstore. After seeing Reiji's impact on Eagle's behavior, the servant appreciates Reiji's guidance over the young demon lord and requests that Reiji continue looking after him before leaving for the party. Before they depart, Reiji naps and drifts into memories of his past life as a weary salaryman in Japan, struggling under abusive superiors and longing for recognition and purpose. He hated his life and wanted to go somewhere else where he could be recognized for his hard work. He recalls the sudden moment of being transported to a different world where he gained medicine-making skills. Soon after, he'd stumbled upon an injured wolf lying on the ground wailing in pain. When he sees a basket of potions nearby, he tries to give it to the wolf. However, it stinks and isn't drinkable, so Reiji uses some of the herbs from the forest and mixes it into the potion, making it drinkable. To his surprise, the wolf transformed into Noela, who immediately became devoted to him, and insisted on staying by his side. In the present, Mina and Noila wake Reiji as the carriage arrives. Everyone heads to Elaine's mansion for the party except Egil, who misses the carriage entirely. At the mansion, Reiji and his friends are awestruck by the lavish setup, with Noila making a beeline for the food. Elaine greets them, thanking Reiji, Mina, and Noila for attending while blushing as she compliments Reiji on his looks. Many of the ladies at the party notice Reiji, and between praises for his skills and offers of marriage, Reiji finds himself blushing from all the attention. Outside, Egil realizes too late that the gates have been closed, leaving him unable to join the party. Back inside, Mina and Noila manage to lead Reiji away from the crowd and onto the dance floor. In the end, as he dances with them, Reiji finds himself enjoying the experience, grateful to have Mina and Noila by his side.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this. If you have any suggestions or questions, feel free to leave a comment below. Until next time, take care.